Hey guys, in today's spooky video, we are making quick and easy last minute treats for a Pinkoween theme party table. These creative DIYs have lots of shortcuts but are nothing short of fabulous and will make a statement at your not so scary party. This chocolate pretzel spider webs, Boo Bar Rice Krispy Treats, a variety of decorative apples like a girly caramel apple ghost, pastel pumpkins and skulls, as well as stuffed witch hat cones and spider donuts. So, to put a cute twist on all things Halloween, let's create something magical! The first treat is a spooktacular spin on the chocolate pretzel spider webs using pokey sticks instead of plain pretzels, and the strawberries and cream flavor is perfect for Pinkoween. Start by slicing off the ends with a knife to shorten the pokey sticks and place 8 sticks onto a sheet of parchment paper, lining them up by making a cross with an X to form the base of the web. Next, pipe a line of melted chocolate in between each pokey stick to set up a grid for more stability. Continue piping curved lines all around to connect and create a spiderweb effect, tying the whole look together, and repeat the process for a total of 3 rows. It's key to work quickly and sprinkle on a coarse gold sanding sugar before it sets, that way it's able to stick on. And there we have a unique last minute treat that's effortless with only 3 ingredients. Pop them in the fridge for 10 to 15 minutes before lifting away from the parchment. By the way, the pokey sticks are from Five Below, and I use Sweet Tooth Fairy brand chocolate wafers at medium consistency, which is ideal for piping the pattern without being too runny or too thick. Once you're caught in the web trend, you'll want to make more and more of these frightfully fun snacks. Treat number 2 are these stuffed witch hat cones that are just as magical as they look with a yummy filling. Some of the materials you're going to need are fudge stripe cookies, mini ice cream cones, a chocolate cake pop dough prepared ahead of time, and a small scoop to grab a ball of dough. Go ahead and break it up into a few pieces, tightly packing in layers until the cone is completely filled from top to bottom. Having the inside filled to the brim literally ensures the stick won't have space to move around. All these magical tips and tricks will prevent anything from falling off the stick. Now it's time to attach the brim onto the cone by flipping a fudge stripe cookie chocolate side up and piping a ring of chocolate around the center to secure the cone to the cookie. Allow them to set for at least 10 minutes before handling or inserting the lollipop stick. Then, just as you would for a cake pop, all I'm doing is dipping the stick into some chocolate and pushing all the way to the end without breaking the cone. To give it an extra firm seal, I finish it off by squeezing melted chocolate into the opening where the dough is peeking through. Following this easy assembly will help everything stay put when ready to dip. And just to let you know, all the treats in this video are made with Merkin's wafers except for the spider webs. Here I have my favorite medium pink sanding sugar handy, and I'm dipping the witch hats into a baby pink shade of chocolate that's at a fluid dipping consistency. Since the pink is sheer, I go back in a second time to achieve a more opaque coating. Shake on the sanding sugar as you rotate the cone and stand them upright to dry. The fine-grained sanding sugar gives a touch of sparkle that appears more delicate than the coarse type. I'll be sure to link it along with all the other products in the description box down below. Let's dress up the hats with a glamorous gold accessory. I used this super cute silicone bat mold and brushed on a gold edible paint that I mixed with luster dust and clear vodka. Depending on your preference, choose to mold with either white chocolate or fondant. My bats here are chocolate. Just keep in mind they aren't flexible and should be handled carefully. And pipe chocolate on the backs, gently holding for a few seconds before letting go. and the witch hat cones are complete and wickedly delicious. It's not a Halloween party without an assortment of apples, and all these design ideas are so much more simple than you think. For the girly ghost caramel apple, pick up a pack of Wrapples from your local grocery store, begin peeling the caramel wraps away from the sheet, and avoid creasing or folding for best results. Flip the shiny side up and center the wrap so there's an even amount of caramel on each side. Gently stretch to extend the caramel downwards until the bottom is covered. I recommend picking taller apples if possible to resemble the ghost. Simply shape the edges with your fingers to look similar to the ruffles on a skirt. Once you have your desired look, insert the candy apple sticks and dip the apples in Merkin's white chocolate that's inside of a deep and wide dipping bowl. The dipping container matters because when you swirl the apple in there, the Wrapple can easily get crushed and ruin all of your beautiful ruffles and hard work. The smooth surface is a beautiful canvas for drawing her girly lashes with a black edible marker. These almost look similar to unicorn eyes, and a pink bow twist tie that's extra stylish. Last but not least, Gigi the Ghost requested to give her a makeover with some blushy cheeks. I tap a Q-tip into a pink petal dust and swirl to blend in circular motions. Gigi the Ghost is dressed to impress at the Pinkoween celebration. Her friends from the Boo Crew are a pretty pumpkin. I found this mold at Michael's craft store. To fit the apple into the cavity, I recommend selecting a short, wide apple that's similar to a pumpkin shape. The other is the crystallized skull. The skeleton mold is more narrow and needs to make contact with the apple. The best choice is the mini gala apples that are pre-packaged in bags. Try to aim for something heart-shaped. There's no need to prep or boil the apples to remove the wax. All you need is a simple wash and dry and hammer the candy apple sticks into the core. Before we get to the fun part with the molds, the first step is important to dip the apples plain without the mold. The reason is that the design won't make enough contact with the surface and will turn into a mess. I'm dipping both Gala and Granny Smith apples to prepare them for molding in pretty pastel shades of chocolate. Set those aside to completely dry and pour into the cavity of the pumpkin mold with a silicone pouring cup, filling up to where the lines are that surround the jack-o'-lantern face. Then take your apple, and when you press, the chocolate should spread and overflow outside of the mold. That's how you know the design will mold properly. For the skull, I fill up the outline of the face, and being that the cavity is tight, all you need to do is press with a light pressure and chill for 30 minutes in the fridge to transform them into a spooky skull apple. Bringing the apples to life is so satisfying. A great luster dust goes a long way. My go-to is the Welcome Luster in the shade Blush Pastel Pink. To enhance the glow on the pumpkin and skeleton, it's an amazing addition to any pastel pink base. All that's missing is to light up the jack-o'-lantern with a gold edible paint. This time I'll show you how to mix it. I combine Sugar Art Luster Dust in classic gold with several drops of Everclear vodka until it reaches a painting consistency, and apply to the impressions of the eyes, nose, mouth, and stem with dabbing strokes. I paint the apple on an angle in case the paint drips down before it dries. The pretty pink pumpkin is sure to be in the spotlight. Don't forget to dust the luster onto the skull before taking it to another level with the crystals. All it takes is a stick of rock candy crushed up into smaller pieces that will fit inside the eye sockets and nose area. Individually stick each crystal in place by patting on the chocolate and drop in with tweezers. Feel free to layer to close up any holes. As you can see, the rock candies really pop and are very realistic to resemble the crystal-like texture. Top off the crystals with a generous coat of gold edible paint, and to avoid disrupting the crystals, Stamping it on will turn the crystals gold without anything falling off. Style the skull with a hint of elegance and mold a white chocolate rose. Paint the outer trim on the petals gold to make all the details pop for a gorgeous lineup of Pinkoween apples. A popular must-have are Rice Krispy Treats. This method has much less chocolate than a mold, while still having clean-cut edges for the perfect party-sized squares. Let's head to the stove to whip up these no-bake treats. Melt your butter in a saucepan over low heat. A tip for thicker squares is to prepare 1.5 batches of a homemade Rice Krispy Treat recipe. And guys, if you're enjoying so far, thank you for stopping by my channel. Be sure to join the party and subscribe for more fun treat tutorials and hit that bell to receive all notifications. I finished stirring in my marshmallows to smoothly combine with the butter. Before dropping in the cereal, turn off the heat so that it doesn't turn brown and coat with the marshmallows until fully incorporated. Remember to spray on your non-stick and pile the mixture into a 9x9 inch pan. The 1.5 batches is just the right amount to form those nice thick squares. Non-stick is your best friend for packing without all the stickiness. When evenly spread and flattened out, what I like to do next is flip it over onto the pretty side, fit it back in the pan while it's still pliable, and go over it with a mallet to make it extra compact. Look at those edges. The trick is to pour the pink chocolate over the top and let it flow into the corners. As for consistency, a pourable chocolate will set smoothly and be softer to slice. Set aside to firm up for about an hour, and once the time is up, rock back and forth to release from the pan and it should come right out. Go ahead and flip onto a cutting board 2 times to have the chocolate layer facing the front and dust off any loose chocolate shavings. To keep the squares on point and precise, I mark score lines with a ruler before running a straight edge knife through the chocolate to deepen the cuts. I cut 4 across for a total of 16 bars. Before you know it, these party-sized treats will be gone from the dessert table, and the best part is it only requires simple decorating to upgrade them into what I call boo bars with adorable ghost sugar decorations. No fancy decorating required, just stick them on with a dot of chocolate. Pair the boo bars with a wonderful web design. Pipe an open V in the top right corner, then a diagonal line to divide it in half, and section again 2 more times. Connect with several rows of scalloped lines, all done with a stiff consistency black rail icing, and tip with piping bags. Achieve thin, fine lines without being too thick. Last but not least are these creepy crawly spider donuts inspired by Dunkin's signature specialty donut. This year they're purple instead of orange to match the new potion macchiato on their Halloween menu. To make them at home, a DIY shortcut is to use chocolate munchkins, pre-made cake donuts, and a purpley homemade glaze to frost them. Whether you choose cake donuts from Dunkin' or Entenmann's, both options will work. The only extra item is a quick glaze recipe. Measure out 3.5 cups of powdered sugar and sift it all in. Don't skip this part because we don't want a clumpy glaze. Onto this mountain of sugar goes 3 tablespoons of melted butter, as well as 7 tablespoons of heavy cream that has been warmed up in the microwave. 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Clear prevents the color from staining. And last is 1.5 tablespoons of corn syrup. Mix that all up to combine the ingredients really well. Before dyeing the glaze a pretty purple, reserve 3 tablespoons on the side for the chocolate frosting that we'll need for the spider legs later on. Straight up purple can have a grayish undertone to it. A quick fix is to add 1 drop of pink gel coloring to the mix. Get the donuts frosted by dunking into a shallow dipping bowl. Less is actually more here because the glaze drips down after a few minutes, and lightly shake to settle it out. The fabulous purple frosting is a great way to switch it up for Pinkoween. Give the glaze a few minutes to set, and we're about to get decorating. Take out the glaze that we saved on the side from earlier and stir in 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. It tastes and looks just like a chocolate frosting. Prior to piping, turn this into a glistening glaze with Wilton edible glitter spray. The camera doesn't do it justice, but you just have to try it. Load a piping bag with the chocolate frosting and pipe 4 angled spidery legs on each side with decorating tip number 2, and add a chocolate munchkin in the center with beady sprinkle eyes. They stay in place with the dot of frosting, and the spider donut is crawling with fun. I hope you guys enjoyed these quick and easy Pinkoween treats, and it gave you some last minute ideas of what to whip together for your party. Comment your favorite treat down below, and happy Halloween. It's Christina here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.